Be bold, be courageous. Americans are counting on you. Thank you.
Echoes of Jim Brady from Gabby Giffords more than 20 years later in that hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee this week. We're back with our roundtable right now. And Matthew Dowd, I want to come to you, but as I come to you, I also want to put up the new salvo in the debate yesterday from President Obama. You saw that picture they released of the president's skeet shooting at Camp David back in August after he said it was something he does all the time up in Camp David. And David Plouffe, his former senior advisor, puts out a tweet saying, "Attention skeet birthers, make our day. Let the Photoshop conspiracies begin." Of course, they were answering the skepticism about whether President Obama was really a shooter. But was it smart to put out that photo?
Well, I think they had to put out the photo. I think if you go back a few days, I don't think it was very smart for him to make that statement in the New Republic when he said, "I shoot skeet all the time up there," because first of all, it wasn't going to change anybody's mind that's against him. It wasn't going to make anybody think, "Oh, wow, Barack Obama's this." It reminds me of what, paraphrase Margaret Thatcher, which is being a skeet shooter, being a hunter is a lot like being a lady. If you have to tell people you're probably not. Nobody's going to believe him because of that picture, and that picture, I think, just makes him look like he's pandering, and as Carly said on the break, he is pandering in that, and I think that's the problem with it, that it's sort of a distraction from the debate. I don't think they should have ever said it. Nobody believes that about the president.
And you heard Carly Fiorina from Harry Reid right there, that the president is going to have a fairly tough time with his own Democrats in getting what he wants through the Senate.
Yeah, well, I think that's clearly true. This is a very emotional issue. I honestly think both sides have overplayed it. Personally, I think the NRA has overplayed it. We're gun owners at home. But
by coming out against background checks?
Yes, I mean, I think there's widespread support for universal background checks. However, universal background checks won't work unless we deal with our mental health system and actually untie the Gordian knot of privacy rules so that the right information can be given to people. But universal background checks, let's deal with the mental health system. Personally, I would even support banning high-capacity magazines. I think banning assault weapons, we've proved, doesn't work. So instead of just doing something for show, let's actually focus on solving the problem.
What really strikes me, I don't know how this plays, what will happen. What strikes me is we've actually gotten a glimpse into the mindset, though, of the pro-gun people. And we've seen certainly Wayne LaPierre and some of these others. It's bizarre. They have this vision that we're living in a Mad Max movie, and that nothing can be done about it, that America cannot manage unless everybody's prepared to shoot intruders, that the idea that we have police forces that provide public safety is somehow totally impractical, despite the fact that, that is in fact the way we live. So I think that the terms of the debate have shifted. Now the craziness of the extreme pro-gun lobby has been revealed, and that has got to move the debate and got to move the legislation to at least some degree.
Are you comfortable where the NRA has been on this?
Yeah, I am. I mean, this is a perfect example why people believe Washington is broke. This horrific incident in Newtown, and here, what is our debate? It's focusing on guns. There's not one person at this table who really believes that that's the root of what happened there. And when we have people that get into the mindset that they want to harm people, as a former mayor, I know people will get guns no matter what laws we pass. Just like the illegal
drug. Just say that I caught you on a false statement there, because at least I do believe that guns are the root. There are crazy people everywhere, but mass murders are a lot more common here than in countries with effective gun control. If you believe guns are more important
than dealing with mental health and our culture, is our culture lending itself that we're raising children that are desensitized to murder, to killing people?
I look at the international differences, and countries that have effective gun control have a lot fewer
Would banning spoons stop obesity? Of course not.
Banning large soda drinks does, however, help.
There's high tolerance for violence in this country. I mean, after Columbine, after Virginia Tech, after Aurora, we should have done something, and we haven't. Sometimes it seems that it's only minor changes that we're talking about, even ban on assault weapons or background checks, or talking about high-capacity magazines. I mean, we know what works. I mean, in Japan, it works. But as a country, I don't think we are willing to even revisit the Second Amendment.
And Paul said something that
we know exactly what
is
works.
illustrative.
We don't want to do it.
But
we have to recognize that.
Paul said something that's illustrative of what I meant when I said people overplay their hands. What Paul just did was lump everybody together as a crazy radical gun owner. So yes, so you're condemning people.
No, there are plenty of gun owners who are fine, but the lobbying groups, the NRA, is now revealed as an insane organization, and that matters quite a lot.
I said at the outset, I think the NRA overplayed its hand a bit.
More than that.
I think
More than
we
just
should
overplaying its
support
hand.
universal background checks. On the other hand, we need to say that if, let's just say Dianne Feinstein's bill passed banning assault weapons, it won't do anything to solve the problem.
But after the last assault weapons ban, and I'll bring this to Matthew Dowd, there was some evidence by independent experts who looked at it and said, listen, it didn't solve the problem completely, but when the ban was in place, fewer people were killed by assault weapons, and when it was lifted, more people were killed by assault weapons.
But George, people also said more people bought assault weapons right before that ban went into place, and as soon as lifted, they bought more, and we now have 300 million of them in the country.
Part of the problem is, and I think the congressman said this, but part of the problem is all the facts on both sides get left on the table, and we get into this thing where everybody says this is what we need to do, and many of the facts get left on the table.
That's right.
We all know that if you only do something on assault weapons, it's not going to solve the problem that happened. If you only do something on high capacity, it's not going to solve the problem. If you only do something on this, and the other facts that get left, and the idea that a gun in the home or people have a gun is going to make somebody safer, all the facts say that's just not true. The likelihood of somebody that's in a domestic violence case where there's a gun available is 8 times more likely, a woman is 8 times more likely to get killed. The likelihood that if a woman if there's a gun in a home, there's 3 times more likely that she's going to get murdered. Everybody leaves the facts. I don't think it would be a bad thing. Most people that own guns, and I'm a gun owner like Carly is, thinks many of the things that are going on is people are unwilling to say, let's get rid of the Second Amendment. Maybe we should have a debate about that.
That is a huge debate. I want to move on to the economy.